Hey guys, welcome back to Tech Tuesday.
Yep, it's 2015, and now you can just buy an entire computer that fits in the palm of your hand for under $100.
Wow.
And no, we're not just talking about phones, you dingus, although those are definitely computers, and they definitely fit in the palm of your hand.
They would blow the minds of anyone from the 1900s. Whoa! Anyways, Google and Asus have just announced their new Chromebit dongle. Love that word.
Great word.
You simply plug it into an HDMI port and boom! You've got yourself a computer.
It's got 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of solid-state storage, dual-band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, and a single USB 2.0 port, and it runs Chrome OS.
Holy shit, and all right. We know you're a hardcore PC gamer and your rig is the size of a small horse, because it needs to be, so you can continue to game at maximum settings without starting a forest fire.
Yeah, I need this, Dad.
But we get that. But for the vast majority of people out there, computers exist simply for web browsing and word processing.
And Chrome OS computers do all of that shit just fine for crazy cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said it before, but we'll continue saying it again. Anyone who drops $1,000+ on a computer just for like basic work that doesn't involve processor-intensive stuff like video editing and music production is just throwing money away.
You're throwing your money away!
Yeah, and the fact that something like this Chromebit exists is just further proof of that.
Yeah, of course, the Chromebit isn't the first of its kind, not by a long shot, although that swivel thing at the end is pretty genius and should be mandatory on all HDMI dongles going forward.
It should be.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it look like an inhaler, too. Which is
That's
fun.
great.
Anyway, tiny, cheap computers like the Raspberry Pi have been around for a few years, but those were for more like advanced users that had PC building know-how. And little HDMI dongles running Android OS have been around for a little while, but it's very limited.
Even back in January at CES, Intel showed off the Intel Compute Stick, which actually runs Windows 8.1 as opposed to Linux, Android OS, or Chrome OS. Now that one will be coming out in May and will sell for $150, and it's already available for pre-order on Newegg if you're interested.
Yeah, that Compute Stick has a quad-core 1.33 gigahertz Intel Atom processor, 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of solid-state storage, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and USB and micro SD slots. Like the Chromebit, you're not going to be playing games on this thing, but that's also not the point.
Exactly.
And you could probably play Minecraft on it, no problem.
There you go, that game's simple. But yeah, this isn't for you if you are using your computer for gaming. These things should prove really useful for schools, however, businesses with basic computing needs, and low-income families who need a no-frills computing option that won't set them back too much.
Yeah, I mean, for that cheap, like I can definitely see getting one of these and just like popping in my TV.
Oh yeah, just for the hell of it.
Get a Bluetooth keyboard.
There you go.
Wow,
It's the new Web TV.
Yeah. Web TV's back, baby.
It sure is. But enough about exciting new shit. Let's talk about old disappointing shit, you
Yay.
guys. Remember OnLive? Nope? Okay, well let's catch you up.
Yeah, so back in 2010, OnLive was launched as one of the gaming industry's first attempts at cloud gaming. Instead of having to spend loads of money on a gaming PC yourself, OnLive users could play a selection of current-gen games on pretty much any internet-connected device, with OnLive servers handling all the processing and streaming the video of that game to players over the internet.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Allow me to be a Tug's asshole really quick here for a second. At PAX a couple years ago when this launched, I was there and I was like, what's everyone waiting in line for? And the guy was like, oh, we're giving away free consoles of OnLive. And I was like, oh, that looks stupid, and just left. No, I don't want one.
You're the problem.
I am the problem. But anyways, it was a bold idea that seemed to fall in line with the ways music, movie, and TV were shifting from physical media to streaming media. But OnLive was never really able to catch on with gamers for obvious reasons.
People like you.
Yeah.
So yeah, when OnLive was first announced in 2009, and I think it was GDC, games journalists and developers were extremely skeptical that something like it could work. But when it launched, the reviews were surprisingly positive. They're like, wow, it actually kind of works.
Yeah, well, that's because they got free copies. Like I just blew up their spot. They were just giving them away. However, the service was highly dependent on users having really fast, really reliable broadband internet. And anyone with a Time Warner or Comcast cable internet connection can tell you that the internet in this country is neither fast nor reliable, especially reliable.
Yeah, and apologies to Australia. We know that your shit sucks 100 times worse.
Yeah.
But just look at it as punishment for your ancestors' crimes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, Australia. You can't touch us, though. There's an entire ocean between us.
You are descended from criminals.
Yes, you are. And you have Iggy Azalea. You're responsible for Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyways, OnLive didn't do a very good job at managing their finances either. And after 2 years, they fired all of their employees and basically relaunched as a new company with the same name.
And then just last week, OnLive announced that it was shutting down for good at the end of this month after being bought up by none other than Sony, who will be taking OnLive's proprietary technologies and integrating it into their own PS Now streaming service.
Smart, I guess. I hate most of their proprietary stuff, though. That memory stick still haunts me. Anyways, there's also bad news for OnLive users, whoever was left. Once they shut down for good, any OnLive hardware you own, like the OnLive console or OnLive controllers, will be utterly worthless since they don't work with any other platforms.
Yeah, this was surprising, but yeah, they they're not just
can't use it.
Yeah, can't use it. Sorry.
bad.
And any games that you bought through OnLive's Play Pass system that they used for the first couple years are gonna just disappear forever once they shut it down.
Yeah, fuck you, gamers.
Yeah.
Anyways, since March 2014, OnLive used a system called Cloudlift that was based around Steam. So anything you bought since then will still be in your Steam library. So good for you, gamers.
All 10 of you that stuck around with OnLive through the last year, your games are still on Steam.
Yeah.
Congratulations, but now you need a good computer.
Yeah.
Anyway, still, it's entirely conceivable there's some diehard OnLive users out there who actually did buy a ton of games on the service between 2010 and 2014, and now they're probably feeling pretty dicked over.
And I'm sure you'll tell us about it in the comments. But this is probably a reality about digital purchases that we're gonna see more and more of in the years to come. iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. These services don't seem like they're going anywhere anytime soon, but it's possible that 20 years from now, any of them could go under.
Yeah, a recent example of this is Target Ticket, which was Target's failed attempt at a video on demand service that shut down after just over a year. They were actually nice about things. They made sure to strike a deal with the Cinema Now streaming service so that people who bought stuff on Target Ticket would still have their purchased library available on the other service. But again, that was just Target being a good guy.
They didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and Cinema Now, I probably saw it as a golden opportunity to bring other people into their service, but that was all voluntary. They didn't have to do any of that.
They could have just as easily not done anything and left everyone out in the cold. Companies you buy streaming media from aren't under any obligation to reimburse you if they shut down their servers.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, this is something we're probably gonna have to deal with a lot in the future.
Yeah, like, I own a ton of content on Google Play.
Yeah.
If that at first, I don't think it will, but if it ever went down, that's all gone.
Yeah, but there's no alternative to OnLive. That shit's just gone.
Yeah.
Sony could have at least considered offering those remaining OnLive users a few months of free PS Now service or something, or at least apologize.
Yes, they could apologize. Like Sling TV apologized after the massive number of users trying to watch the NCAA March Madness semifinals crashed the stream last weekend.
Yeah, users tuning into the Duke versus Michigan State and Wisconsin versus Kentucky games got spotty service at best, and some weren't even able to connect, instead of getting an error screen.
Yeah. Since live sports was and is one of Sling TV's major selling points, disgruntled college basketball fans flooded Twitter with angry tweets about missing the games because they placed their trust in Sling TV, which is actually owned by Dish, so.
Yeah, Sling TV should have known better. Last year, the NCAA semifinals was the most watched college sports event in cable TV history. I mean, if you're gonna promise a cord-cutting experience for live sports, you gotta have the bandwidth for these big games, or you risk the wrath of sports fans. We're gonna be a lot more mad about missing a game than, say, a Game of Thrones fan having to wait a few hours for HBO Go to, like, stop taking
Well,
a shit.
I don't know. Those are two people I don't want to face. By the way, side note, now that we're on the subject, please get your shit together. This time, HBO. Every year, you're somehow shocked that millions of people want to watch the premiere of Game of Thrones at the same time on your service.
Gosh.
Oh, what do you know?
What do you know? Well, you know, you might just have to wait.
It's the problem with all these kind of streaming things. Even games that use internet for matchmaking or whatever, on launch day, they're inundated with users wanting to play. Weird. Everyone that bought the game wants to play it once.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Sling. They did apologize on Twitter saying, "We're sorry some basketball fans saw errors tonight due to extreme signups and streaming. Engineers rebalanced load across network partners."
Sounds sexy.
Yeah.
So as much as sports fans have a right to be fucking pissed about this, hopefully Sling learns from this mistake and is better prepared for, say, the NBA Finals in a couple months. Because unless they do, broadcast TV will continue to be the only reliable way to watch live sports, and we don't want a future like that.
I don't want to live like that. Or, I mean, bars will always be the most reliable way.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, speaking of new ways to do old things, last week Amazon announced their Dash button, which we just assumed was an early April Fool's joke, but is in fact a real thing.
It's ridiculous. Now when you run out of various home products, you literally just have to press a little button that Amazon provides for you and it orders more. At this point, it's pretty much all just stuff that you keep in your kitchen and bathroom cabinets, like detergent, toilet paper, razors, and delicious Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
You get a little button for each individual product, so like you put a Tide button on your washing machine, put a Gillette button in your bathroom medicine cabinet, put a Kraft macaroni and cheese button literally anywhere because you're a fat fuck.
Right on the couch. Right on the couch. More mac and cheese.
I need more cheese.
You're gonna press that button too many times. Anyways, it's only for selected Amazon Prime members at this point, but we might as well just accept that this is the future and the mere act of driving to the supermarket is now too much damn work.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Yeah.
I want it now.
The problem I brought up to you about this is like some fucking brat kid's gonna go around pressing all the buttons in your house because they think it's funny.
Well, it
and you
does.
get the entire palette.
So you have the Amazon Dash app on your phone and it gives you a notification
Then
saying,
what's the difference of just ordering it on your phone?
it's just a button, you know?
But then you have to pull your phone out.
Well, it shows up on your phone just so you can say, no, I don't want that.
It's still the same amount of work.
Well, no, you press the button, it goes through. If you don't stop it, then it automatically
Okay,
ships.
so hey, I'm a mom. I'm a dad.
Okay.
All right, so I'm a dad. I'm at work. I set my phone down. I'm going to do business things over here. Fucking kids are at home, out of school, running around pressing all the fucking buttons in the house. And I don't get back to my phone fast enough. And now I have 200 cases of like Tide coming.
It's gonna be like you teach your kids not to just prank call 911. You gotta teach them.
You have to teach them that?
Oh yeah. You didn't call 911 when you were a kid?
It's gonna be the same problem as the in-app purchases on games, like when parents are just like, here's a tablet.
Well,
go
you
nuts."
could also just like put them this high.
Nah, kids will get a fucking apple crate or something and jump up there and do it.
No one's watching these kids.
Dude, when I was young, I would climb all over the kitchen to get to the snacks. I can find one of those buttons if I'm 5-10 years old.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Let us know if you're signing up for Amazon Dash button, and if you have kids, and how lazy are you, and how much Kraft macaroni and cheese do you eat?
And did you play OnLive? And the answer is no. And here, check out other content in our podcast with Micah Monroe. I made it rhyme. I hate myself. Thank you.